What if I said the Amish have been hiding cooking knowledge that may spare you hundreds of dollars annually? These 40 Amish cooking tips are genuine money savings, not only smart ones. They range from reducing food waste to transforming simple components into delectable dishes. Though modern kitchens are crammed with pricey devices, the Amish have perfected the technique of accomplishing more with less by employing basic things you already own. Let's look at a handful of these incredible mysteries. Maintaining herbs. Fresh in water jars. Instead of only days, the Amish have a really easy approach to keep herbs fresh for weeks. They treat them like tiny bouquets, cutting the stems and putting them in glasses of water. Then they loosely cover them with a plastic bag to create a little greenhouse, containing just enough moisture to keep the herbs alive. The secret? To stop slime accumulation, change the water every 2 to 3 days. This approach can increase herb life from 3 days to over 3 weeks, hence saving you approximately $4 to $5 each week. It works beautifully for mint, basil, cilantro, and parsley. Though either way, the Amish make sure not a sprig goes to waste. Woody herbs like rosemary and thyme sometimes do better kept dry. Using tissue paper to protect cookies. Sogginess is the one thing that spoils a batch of handmade cookies the fastest. The Amish came up with a brilliant answer, stacking cookies between sheets of ordinary tissue paper inside an airtight container. Like you want them, the tissue paper allows enough air to get through to maintain cookies crisp or chewy, but absorbs excess moisture. Delicate sweets like sugar biscuits and macaroons are well suited for this approach, especially during harvest festivals when baked products must remain fresh for days. Amish families have utilized this technique for decades. Just smart, old-fashioned knowledge, no elaborate devices. Mason jar vacuum sealing. Although many people hurry to purchase expensive vacuum sealers, the Amish have been adopting a no-cost technique for centuries. To push out the air and produce a natural suction seal, they angle a mason jar lid on a work surface. It keeps dry items such as wheat, beans, and sugar fresh for twice as long. Reducing oxygen is what matters as it slows decay. Though it takes some practice, too much power can break the jar, too little won't seal it correctly. Once you perfect it, you'll reduce food waste by nearly 30% without spending a cent. Water testing egg freshness. Have you ever questioned whether that egg is still good? The Amish employ the straightforward water test. Gently drop the eggs into a dish of cool water. Fresh eggs lay flat and sink. Eggs older but still usable stand upright. Should an egg float, throw it away. It's useless. By eliminating rotten eggs and stopping food poisoning, this approach helps households $8 to $10 a month. It's entirely scientific. Air leaks within eggs, making them buoyant. Often gathering their own eggs, Amish farmers depend on this straightforward technique rather than expiry dates. Restoring herb gardens with a penny. Especially in winter, maintaining herbs alive inside can be difficult. The Amish remedy this by putting a clean copper coin into the potting soil. Without any chemicals, copper ions gradually release when you water the plant and naturally combat fungus. It's a little method with great benefits, maintaining year-round health of herbs like basil, oregano and mint, and saving $2 to $3 each time you forego purchasing fresh herbs at the shop. Who would have thought 1 cent could be so strong? Correcting bitter coffee with a pinch of salt. Most people add sugar or cream when coffee is too harsh. The Amish have a better suggestion. Simply sprinkle in a little salt. It offsets the bitter ingredients without sweetening the coffee. Dark roasts, which are naturally more bitter, benefit particularly from this. Some studies even reveal that salt is more efficient than sugar in lowering bitterness. By ensuring you drink and enjoy every cup instead of pouring it down the drain, this small tip can save roughly $40 annually. A little kitchen chemistry goes a long way, cutting onions. Without tears, anyone, Slicing onions can cause a weeping disaster. The Amish, however, discovered a straightforward solution. Rather than chopping the onion across the centre, cut it lengthwise from root to stem. Maintaining the root intact harms less of the cells releasing tear-inducing compounds. Furthermore, the root provides you a useful handle to hold when cutting. Many professional cooks use it as well since it is such a successful technique. Less crying, quicker cutting, and significantly less food waste from slicing errors. A win all around. The 3-day soup approach. Should you like to create the richest, most tasty soup ever, use this Amish custom. Roast bones to produce a solid, strong foundation starting on day 1. Add tougher veggies like carrots and potatoes on day 2. Allow them gradually break down and unleash their flavours. At last, on day 3, just before serving, add fragile herbs and greens. The outcome is a rich, soul-warming soup that tastes like it's simmered in 5-star kitchen. It's the sort of patience and attention that transforms ordinary components into memorable dinners, and it maximizes food dollars by consuming every last bit. Day 3. Seasoning. In Amish homes, patience is the key component, not only a quality. After slow cooking bones and robust veggies, day 3 of their renowned soup-making process sees them adding flavours and delicate herbs. Long, steady boiling extracts all the taste and nutrition from the bones, hence producing a rich, silky broth you just cannot get with fast cooking. Imagine preparing enough robust soup from one chicken to feed a family of 4 for only approximately $1.25 per serving. Archaeological data reveals that methods of slow cooking like this have existed for millennia across numerous civilizations. Amish cooks might be said to exercise what I call bone patience. The longer they wait, the better the result. More nutrients and taste than anything in a store-bought counterpart costing 5 times more, these soups are loaded with minerals, collagen, and gelatin. Occasionally, those who wait truly get the finest meals. Egg cracking. One-handed. The Amish understand that little abilities have a great impact in the kitchen in terms of speed and efficiency. One of their favourite pranks is using only one hand to crack eggs. A fast, sharp tap on the bowl edge and a small twist break the shell cleanly open by holding the egg sideways between the thumb and middle finger. In Amish communities, where baking is frequently done in large quantities for events, this ability is gold. Experienced chefs can break dozens of eggs without adding a single shell piece into the mixture. Perfect break is all about exploiting the egg's natural fault line for it. Mastering this technique also helps to avoid waste, which is particularly crucial when preparing fragile foods like custards or meringues, where even the smallest shell can destroy the texture. Tomato acidity balance. The Amish have a straightforward solution if you've ever created homemade tomato sauce and thought it overly sour or sharp. Just add a little bit of sugar, roughly 1/8 teaspoon per cup of sauce. It's just enough to offset the acidity without sweetening the sauce. Stir in around 1/2 teaspoon of butter for an even deeper, richer taste. Born out of a desire to make bad tomatoes taste great, this technique turns even simple canned tomatoes into a sauce that could easily compete with an $8 artisan jar for cents. Its chemical makeup is straightforward. Sugar bonds to acid molecules, reducing their sharpness. Butter adds a mild, creamy richness that unites all the tastes. The library of bacon grease Amish kitchens squander nothing, not even the fat from cooking bacon. Rather than throwing it away, they methodically preserve several varieties of bacon grease in marked mason jars to build a bacon grease library. While hickory smoked grease gives beans and greens a deep, rich taste, applewood smoked grease gives breakfast potatoes a sweet, smoky flavour. 1 tablespoon of preserved bacon grease can substitute for around 25 cents worth of oil or butter and enhance taste like no other. Stored correctly in cold, dark areas, These tasty fats remain fresh for several months. Though today, even top chefs acknowledge that genuine bacon fat imparts rich tastes you just cannot duplicate. This custom began during difficult times when purchasing cooking oils was not an alternative. Using damp paper towels to maintain salad greens fresh. Sometimes fresh salad greens appear to wither overnight. The Amish have a straightforward solution. They wrap lettuce or other greens lightly in moist, not soaking wet, paper towels after washing, then store them in an airtight container. Change the towels every few days to maintain the proper moisture balance. From 4 days to almost 2 weeks, this technique extends the life of your greens. Imagine it as a spa treatment for your salad, the ideal mix of hydration and ventilation. No more damp lettuce or slimy spinach midway through the week. On average, this small tip saves households roughly $5 a week, and much annoyance as well. Fluffy scrambled eggs secret. Mayonnaise. Though they sometimes come out dry and rubbery, scrambled eggs should be soft, fluffy, and creamy. The Amish secret is to include 1 spoonful of mayonnaise for every 3 eggs you beat. That's all. The fat in the mayo helps the eggs stay deliciously soft during cooking by preventing them from drying out, so no cream or milk is required. And don't be concerned, the mayonnaise taste vanishes totally. All you have are silky, creamy eggs. Many tourists to Amish country gush about the amazing breakfasts, and now you are aware of one of their best-kept secrets. Where ingredients serve 2 purposes. Nothing in Amish cooking goes to waste. That includes tiny tips such as adding mayonnaise to scrambled eggs. Tests reveal that eggs cooked this manner retain roughly 40% more moisture than conventional techniques. The outcome? Fluffy, smooth eggs just like those you typically find at pricey brunch locations. It's a straightforward reminder. Occasionally, it's about using them smarter rather than purchasing better components. Baking pans greased with sugar here is a nice Amish baking tip. They use sugar rather than flour to oil cake pans. Why is that? Sugar caramelizes into a thin, crispy, golden crust when it comes into contact with heat, hence transforming cakes and fast breads into a bakery-grade texture and taste. Especially for pound cakes and banana bread, the crispy, tasty edge makes every mouth memorable. 1 spoonful of sugar will cover a loaf pan. This little 3-cent tip will help your homemade baked products taste as though they came directly from a luxury bakery. The ice cube burger hack. Though it may seem strange, placing a little ice cube into the center of every burger patty before cooking is a complete game changer. A technique straight from Amish farm kitchens. The ice melts as the burger cooks, generating steam that maintains the inside-out juiciness of the meat. Without requiring expensive components, you receive burgers that are roughly 20% juicier. Originally, this approach enabled farm families to maximize every cut of meat, particularly the more difficult ones. For home chefs today who want their burgers to taste like, though they came off a high-end grill, this is a great trick. Improvement of pickle juice potato salad. No summer picnic is complete without potato salad in Amish country. They have a fantastic trick to make it memorable. Rather than using pure mayonnaise, they substitute a tablespoon of it with 2 tablespoons of pickle juice. What follows? A lighter, tangier potato salad that wakes up your taste receptors without becoming heavy. Moreover, it really reduces some calories. For taste, the leftover pickle brine loaded with vinegar, garlic and spices is like liquid gold. This technique has won many blue ribbons at county fairs. You could argue it's a quite large dill. Soaking onions in cold water. Sometimes raw onions' sharp bite might overwhelm a meal. The Amish have a straightforward remedy. Before using them, they soak sliced onions in ice-cold water for roughly 10 minutes. This mild soak removes the sulfur chemicals causing that eye-watering harshness, hence leaving onions that are more mellow, sweeter, and still rather crisp. It can actually make inexpensive yellow onions taste nearly like premium sweet kinds. Research indicates that this rapid soak might lower sharpness perception by as much as 60%. In sandwiches, salads, and toppings, it's a little step that significantly changes everything. The revolution of vodka pie crust. Even experienced bakers may be intimidated by creating a genuinely flaky pie crust, but Amish cooks have vodka as their secret weapon. Indeed, vodka. Substituting vodka for 2 teaspoons of water in pie dough results in an extremely soft and flaky crust. Here's why. Alcohol moistens the dough without promoting gluten development, which might harden crusts. Furthermore, vodka leaves no taste behind as it bakes away totally. This approach allows you more room for error and remains functional even when quite warm. This technique allows you to make pies that would readily cost $20 at a bakery for roughly $3 at home. Egg yolk mashed potato enhancement. The Amish have one last surprise for you if you believed mashed potatoes couldn't improve anymore. They mix 1 raw egg yolk into the heated mashed potatoes just before serving. The remaining heat cooks the yolk softly, thereby giving the potatoes a rich, velvety texture you won't believe until you taste it. Rich, creamy, and incredibly smooth. It's a straightforward improvement that transforms ordinary mashed potatoes into a 5-star side dish. Just old-fashioned cooking knowledge at its best. No sophisticated devices required. Egg yolk, mashed potato enhancement. Even basic mashed potatoes in Amish homes get a rich boost. Just before serving, stirring 1 egg yolk into hot mashed potatoes changes the texture to a silky, smooth, rich meal. No additional butter or heavy cream is required. The inherent emulsifying ability of the yolk gives a smooth mouthfeel and a lovely golden hue. Moreover, this technique increases the protein level by roughly 15%. Lecithin in the yolk helps the potatoes remain solid and structured, hence preventing the unpleasant gumminess as they cool. It's a great illustration of how Amish cooks produce amazing outcomes with little ingredients and clever methods. Bean digestibility with apple cider vinegar. Though they can occasionally cause unpleasant consequences, Amish cooks have a smart solution, including 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to the cooking water. This easy method reduces gas-causing chemicals by around 28%, making beans more tasty and simpler to digest. Vinegar's slight acidity also enhances the rich taste of beans. Scientists are only now verifying what the Amish have known for centuries. A tablespoon of vinegar prevents the rumbles. Perfect cast iron pancake. Fluffy pancakes with exactly golden edges are about technique, not about luxury components. Amish cooks heat a cast iron pan over medium-low for 7 minutes, then add just enough butter for a paper-thin coating. The batter goes on only when a drop of water dances over the surface, a sure indicator the pan is ready. Eliminating raw centers and burnt edges, cast iron heats 35% more evenly than aluminium pans. It's a quick action that transforms a few cents of batter into a breakfast that seems like a gift. The hair drain catcher trick. Here is some useful Amish home knowledge that can save you hundreds. Cover your kitchen sink drain with an affordable shower drain screen. It collects even little food particles before they create plumbing problems and obstructions. Every few days, empty it. It only takes seconds and might save more than $300 a year in plumbing repairs. Preventing issues is always less expensive than mending them in Amish society. For roughly $5, this tiny trick saves time, money, and hassle. Brown paper bag, tomato. Ripening. Looking for reasonably priced, sweeter, juicier tomatoes? Often, Amish gardeners purchase green tomatoes and ripen them at home. Putting almost ripe tomatoes in a brown paper bag with an apple releases natural ethylene gas, hence accelerating ripening and enhancing taste. Research indicates that this technique raises sugar content by as much as 23% over leaving tomatoes on the counter. Moreover, the bag stops moisture loss, so you have tomatoes that taste as though they came from off the vine rather than from the grocery store shelf. The 2-spoon egg separation technique. Though difficult, separating egg yolks without creating a mess is taught to novices by the Amish using 2 spoons. Crack the egg into a bowl and carefully move the yolk back and forth between the spoons. The yolk remains absolutely intact and the whites fall off cleanly. Preventing wasted eggs saves roughly $3 to $4 a month and helps to build confidence by using a straightforward confidence-building tool that also helps to reduce a great deal of irritation. Preservation of honey fruit. Sliced fruit loses its attractiveness and browns fast. Amish cooks have a lovely remedy. Cover peach, pear, or apple slices with a thin layer of honey. Without the drastic taste change lemon juice can create, honey's natural antimicrobial qualities stop browning and prolong shelf life. It also provides a touch of natural sweetness to go with the fruit exactly. This technique lets families purchase seasonal food in bulk and save 15 to 20%, while still relishing crisper, better-tasting snacks. Spice awakening with mortar and pestle. Freshly ground spices are revolutionary. Traditionally, Amish cooks use a mortar and pestle to release the necessary oils locked within dried herbs and spices by crushing in tiny circular motions. Fresh ground spices are as much as 300% stronger than pre-ground ones, so you may use 1/3 the quantity, saving as much as $40 annually. Moreover, the flavour increase is amazing. With almost no additional effort, grinding spices fresh transforms a mundane dinner into something remarkable. Cheese straining with flour sack towels. Homemade fresh cheese is far simpler and less expensive than you may expect. Amish cooks just line a colander with a clean flour sackcloth, heat milk with a little of lemon juice, and drain it for 4 hours. The outcome? About $2 a pound for fresh, creamy ricotta-style cheese, compared to $8 or more at the shop. Because they are tightly woven yet breathable, flour sack towels are ideal since they let the whey drain while preserving the curds soft. The greatest outcomes come from heating the milk to between 175 degrees and 185 degrees Fahrenheit. You may also play around with vinegar or buttermilk for somewhat varied tastes. At their finest, it's basic tools and clever methods. The anti-boilover trick of the wooden spoon. Have you ever had pasta water boil over and make a big mess? A wonderful Amish solution is to place a dry wooden spoon over the pot's top. Rising bubbles touch the spoon and pop, hence stopping spillovers by releasing the surface tension. No more losing your valuable pasta water or cleaning off damp stove tops. Tests indicate that this technique stops roughly 90% of boilovers. The only drawback? Ensure the spoon is uncoated and dry. Many wooden spoons in Amish kitchens are often set aside particularly for this useful chore. Magic of salt and cold water. Egg peeling. Peeling hard-boiled eggs doesn't have to be difficult. Toss the eggs into an ice water bath with 1 teaspoon of salt after boiling and let them sit for 5 minutes. While the salt helps to release the membrane, the abrupt cold shock makes the egg shrink somewhat away from the shell. The outcome? Shells that almost come off in one piece. Amish communities boiling several of eggs at once employ this technique to prevent aggravation. Studies indicate it increases easy peeling success from 60% to more than 95%. Furthermore, the cold water prevents overcooking and stops the undesirable grey ring around the yolk. Wine cork vegetable. Savour. Have any withering vegetables? Not yet throw them away. Amish families employ a strange yet clever technique. Cut up an old wine cork and throw it into the bin with your vegetables together with a splash of water. The cork helps keep greens, broccoli and cucumbers fresh for 3 to 4 extra days by absorbing ethylene gas, the natural ripening chemical. Perfect for this application, natural cork is chemical-free and food-safe. Studies indicate it can reduce vegetable waste by roughly 25%, which certainly adds up with time. Bread heel preservation plan. Here is a quick, free method to maintain your bread fresher for longer. Store bread by turning the two heel pieces inside out and pushing them against the softer slices. The denser heels can delay staling and prolong freshness by as much as 4 days by acting as natural moisture barriers. Knowing that excellent storage is equally as vital as superb baking, Amish bakers have been utilising this technique for decades. Especially for more expensive artisan loaves, it's a little change that can cut bread waste by about 25%. Butterbell crock financials. No more rock-hard butter ripping your toast. Long ago, Amish cooks fixed issue by maintaining butter soft and spreadable in a water-sealed butterbell. The water forms an airtight seal, preventing oxygen and maintaining butter fresh at room temperature. No waste, no hassle, and extra. Room temperature butter blends into baking recipes far more easily, improving texture. Good storage transforms daily essentials into minor pleasures in Amish homes. It's like first-class butter service without spending first-class costs. Onion skin broth fortification. Hang on to those onion skins. Amish cooks keep them in freezer bags to naturally enhance stocks and soups. Thanks to flavonoids and antioxidants in the skins, tossing a handful into simmering soup imparts a rich golden hue and additional nutrition. Packed with the strong anti-inflammatory quercetin, red and yellow onion skins are. Moreover, it's a free approach to improve both the appearance and flavour of your broth, therefore demonstrating yet again that the Amish waste nothing. Method of rice soaking. Here is a quick Amish tip to improve rice. Soak it for 30 minutes prior to cooking. It reduces cooking time by 20%, changes texture, and makes the grains more fluffy. Pre-soaked rice also absorbs seasoning more evenly, so even inexpensive rice tastes like luxury kinds. In homes where every bit matters, small efficiencies like this truly accumulate, and the outcomes are fantastic. Woolsock yogurt production. Making your own yogurt seems sophisticated, but Amish cooks have a no-equipment technique that only costs $1.50 a quart. Wrap your jar of warm milk and starter in a clean wool sock. Wool naturally insulates, maintaining the ideal fermentation temperature between 105 degrees and 115 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 hours. Furthermore, natural lanolin in wool has antibacterial qualities that safeguard your yogurt. No elaborate equipment required, only significant savings and rich, creamy yogurt. The soup bone bank saves bones from meals in a freezer jar. Think of this as compound interest for your kitchen. Once full, boil them into strong, mineral-rich bone broth. One batch produces almost free concentrated stock for 3 or 4 meals. While store-bought broth can run $4 to $5 per quart, Amish cooks have long recognised that homemade bone broth offers remarkable taste, health advantages, and significant savings. Honey vinegar health syrup. For years, Amish households have depended on this straightforward cure. Combine equal parts raw honey and apple cider vinegar and consume a teaspoon at the first indication of a cold. The natural antibacterial qualities of honey combined with the acidic acidity of vinegar create a strong combination. Many claim it's more enjoyable than store-bought cough syrups, and it can save $15 to $20 every avoided trip to the drugstore. Occasionally, the ancient methods are truly the finest. Grow your own protein power. For cents, you can grow living superfoods directly in your kitchen. Amish kitchens usually have sprouting jars all year. Simply soak mung beans or lentils for 8 hours, then rinse twice a day. Within 2 to 3 days, you will have crisp, healthy sprouts full of vitamins, up to 30 times more vitamin B than unsprouted beans. 50 cents worth of beans quickly becomes $4 worth of fresh, live food. No sophisticated equipment needed. Amish breakfast. Casserole. Approach. Mornings hectic? Amish families have it down to a science. Prepare a substantial breakfast casserole on Sunday and slice it into weekly portions. A foundation of eggs, potatoes, and a little meat stretches protein without sacrificing pleasure. Reheats in minutes, saves over 65% over buying breakfast on the run, and reduces food waste by using up leftover vegetables as well. At its best, smart meal preparation. The one-match fire cooking contest. By piling pots so one heat source cooks several meals simultaneously, Amish cooks perfect efficiency. The bottom pot holds the hottest ingredients. Lighter meals heat from the rising heat above. This smart approach reduces cooktop energy use by 30 to 40%. It's like the original energy-efficient kitchen trick, warming meals and hearts without wasting gasoline. Innovation was ignited by need. The outcomes are still unmatched even now. These 40 Amish kitchen hacks show that ingenuity always triumphs over costly devices. Time-tested, straightforward answers improve daily cooking, reduce waste, and save money. Ultimately, it's not about having more. Rather, it's about making more with what you possess.